Alright, Reds, what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you view Nottingham Forest's place in world football. We're not talking about incremental improvements or hopeful signings anymore. This is about a seismic shift that's been orchestrated by one of the most brilliant minds in modern football. The kind of strategic revolution that transforms clubs from hopefuls into genuine powerhouses, from dreamers into serial winners. There's been movement at the highest levels of our club, the sort of behind-the-scenes brilliance that most supporters never get to witness until the results start speaking for themselves on the pitch. But you're here early, you're part of this journey from the very beginning, and what you're about to discover will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about what's possible at the City Ground. Something extraordinary has been building for months, maybe even years, a master plan so comprehensive and forward-thinking that it makes other club strategies look like amateur hour. We're witnessing the birth of a new era orchestrated by someone whose vision extends far beyond simple transfer dealings or short-term fixes. This is about building something that will dominate English football for generations. Hit that like button right now, because you're about to understand exactly why the football world has been buzzing with excitement about what's happening in Nottingham. This isn't just about signings or appointments, it's about the emergence of a footballing philosophy that could redefine what it means to be successful in the Premier League. Every decision, every move, every strategic choice has been building towards this moment. The transformation began with serious activity in the transfer market that showed the world exactly what our new ambitions look like. We weren't content with defensive mediocrity. We went after one of Serie A's most promising talents, a player who perfectly embodies the modern defender's skill set. Someone who could elevate our entire backline to new heights. Thomas Christensen, the 23-year-old Danish sensation from Udinese, became the focal point of our defensive revolution. Here's a player who's proven himself in one of Europe's most demanding leagues, making 50 appearances for Udinese and establishing himself as exactly the kind of versatile, intelligent defender that modern football demands. His ability to operate both as a center back and right back gives tactical flexibility that's worth its weight in gold. The fact that Udinese rejected a $15 million bid from Wolverhampton Wanderers tells you everything about his market value and potential. We're not just window shopping anymore. We're actively pursuing players who are already attracting serious interest from established Premier League clubs. That's the level we're operating at now, and Christensen represents exactly the kind of signing that shows we mean business. But defensive reinforcement was just the beginning of our strategic overhaul. While we were strengthening our backline options, there was simultaneous movement in attack that proved our ambitions extended across every area of the pitch. We secured a striker whose recent exploits have captured the imagination of football fans worldwide. Someone who's already proven he can deliver when the stakes are highest. Igor Jesus, the 24-year-old Brazilian striker, completed his move to the City Ground after his remarkable Club World Cup performances with Botafogo. This lad didn't just participate in that tournament, he was the hero who scored the winning goal against Paris Saint-Germain in the final, doing what Arsenal's entire squad couldn't manage when they faced PSG in the Champions League. Think about that for a moment. Our new striker conquered the European champions when it mattered most. Jesus brings South American flair, clinical finishing, and big match temperament that could transform our attacking options completely. His record of 2 goals in 4 Club World Cup games, including that crucial winner against PSG, proves he's not intimidated by the biggest stages. This is exactly the kind of player who makes the difference between good seasons and legendary seasons. But here's where the story becomes absolutely extraordinary, where all these pieces come together in a way that's almost too perfect to believe. Because the mastermind behind this entire transformation, the architect of our new global vision, the person whose strategic brilliance has been guiding every single decision, is someone whose connection to these signings runs deeper than anyone could have imagined. The appointment that sent shockwaves through the football establishment, the strategic coup that's made every other Premier League club take notice, the signing that represents everything about our transformation, from survivors to genuine contenders, centers around a footballing genius whose reputation precedes him wherever he goes. Someone who's operated at the very pinnacle of world football and knows exactly what it takes to build champions. Edu Gaspar has officially been appointed as our global head of football. And this isn't just any appointment. This is the kind of strategic masterstroke that changes everything. This Brazilian visionary brings experience that's almost impossible to comprehend, having excelled both as a player at the highest level and as one of the most respected executives in modern football. We're talking about someone who lifted Premier League titles with Arsenal's legendary Invincibles, who's won FA Cups, Copa America, and who spent over a decade revolutionizing football operations at clubs that compete for the biggest prizes. Since transitioning into management in 2011, Edu has been the architect behind transfer strategies that have shaped some of Europe's most successful teams. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Edu had been tracking Igor Jesus during his time at Arsenal, recognizing the striker's potential long before he became a household name. Arsenal were reportedly interested in signing Jesus, but they never managed to complete the deal. Now, as our global head of football, Edu finally gets to work with the player he'd identified as a future star. It's like all the stars have aligned perfectly for this moment. The beautiful irony of it all. While Arsenal were knocked out of the Champions League by Paris Saint-Germain, it was Igor Jesus, the player Edu had been pursuing, who scored the winning goal against those same PSG superstars in the Club World Cup final. The player Arsenal couldn't secure is now leading our line, guided by the executive who recognized his brilliance before anyone else. This is the level of strategic thinking we're dealing with now. Edu's appointment isn't just about bringing experience to the city ground. It's about implementing a global vision that connects every aspect of our football operations. His track record with Brazil's national team, helping them lift their first Copa America in 12 years, proves he knows exactly what it takes to build winners at the international level. President Evangelos Marinakis hasn't just made an appointment. He secured the services of a visionary whose innovative approach and global perspective could transform every element of our club. When Edu talks about building competitive, sustainable models aligned with long-term planning, this isn't corporate speak. This is the blueprint for sustained success at the highest level. Edu will oversee all football-related functions, from recruitment and performance analysis to squad strategy and player development. This means every signing, every tactical decision, every development program will be part of a much bigger picture. We're not just buying players anymore. We're building a complete football ecosystem where every component strengthens every other component. The timing couldn't be more perfect. With Igor Jesus already proving himself as a striker who can deliver on the biggest stages, with defensive targets like Thomas Christensen showing our ambition in every area of the pitch, and now with Edu's strategic brilliance guiding our global vision, we're not just building a team. We're building a legacy. This is what modern football success looks like. It's not about isolated signings or short-term fixes. It's about comprehensive strategic planning guided by one of the most brilliant minds in the game. Edu Gaspar represents everything about our transformation, from hopefuls to genuine contenders, from survivors to future champions. So hit that subscribe button, tell your mates, and get ready for what promises to be the most exciting chapter in Nottingham Forest's recent history. Because with a mastermind like Edu orchestrating our future, we're not just competing in the Premier League, we're preparing to dominate it. The revolution is complete, and Edu Gaspar is the architect of our destiny.